Hi, welcome to another City Council recap. This recap is for the December 9th meeting, last Tuesday. Council first heard a presentation from a class from the University of Oregon Real World public policy class. They're doing some research, analysis, and recommendations on the city's loop path system, and it was a master plan from about 15 years ago, where a number of sections have been completed and are in use. And the point of the work with this team is to provide the community with some recommendations about how the development of the path has gone and where we should go next with that. So really great presentation and report that we'll put on the website as well, and will be something that our Park and Tree Committee will look at in the future as we plan changes and updates to the loop path. The next item was a resolution, an annual review and update of the city's employee handbook. Most of it was standard insurance best practice and state legislative updates that happen each legislative session. Every December, January, we update that handbook. So there was some clarification of language about remote work, and a lot of terminology and a lot of small administrative changes, and also for operational efficiency. The highlight of the evening was really the presentation of the council's revenue options subcommittee. They've been meeting for over a year, 9 meetings, to talk in 3 phases of revenue needs for the city for the future operations. And last Tuesday's presentation was the phase 3 of their work, which was fees for the general fund to support the ongoing service levels for our public safety, which is police, municipal court, and code enforcement. Really important set of services that the city provides, that has provided for decades, and is a challenging program to keep operating in the current general fund environment, which is primarily funded through property taxes that have caps, state mandated caps. Measure 5 and Measure 50 put limits on those revenues. So our revenues rise about 3 to 5% a year in the general fund, and the expenses rise about 12 to 15% a year in the general fund. So that gap is something that council is working on figuring out how to solve that. We've solved some of that by some staff reductions in the police department and in other areas. And so the question really now is how do we balance and maintain the service levels that we have? The key recommendation is the pursuit of a public safety support fee. There'd be a fee on the utility bill, the water, sewer, streets, tree, all of the different fees that are currently on the utility bill. This would be potentially be another fee very similar, which would be public safety support fee, which would be collected and dedicated for our public safety purposes, police, municipal court, and code enforcement. That will be discussed in more detail in January and February, with a decision planned for March. So there'll be a lot more public information available in the coming months. The final agenda item that was covered was just a review and recap of the existing utility rate methodology. So the city has consultants from about 3 or 4 years ago. Every 5 years or so, most cities do utility rate reviews. And it really just was a backgrounder, as we're going to be talking about water and sewer rates in the coming months as well. To make sure there was an understanding about how those rates are designed, what makes up those rates, and really what is the mathematical formula that comes into the rates that we have for our water and wastewater. Again, that was a background foundational refresh, conversation of what operations and maintenance, our capital, our new projects improvements, our existing debt service in each of those funds, and just how each of those rates are designed, and how the rates are calculated for residential customers versus commercial and industrial, and how those are reviewed and analysis provided for those. So much more in the coming months on that. That was just a starter kit for utility rate conversation. The final item, as always, is the administration report. And that has a bunch of kind of updates and just data from the various departments, and we do put that out on the website separately, as well as send it out on Facebook separately for the public to review. The highlighted items in the city administration report is the extension of the loop path on North Industrial. So off of Sarah Lane, headed towards North Industrial, all the way to Trails End, is now a complete multi-use path that is open and available. So check that out. That was paid primarily through state and federal grant funding, with 10% of the project as a city funded match. And along with the path was repaving of North Industrial, which was a great improvement for the businesses utilizing North Industrial on a daily basis. Another highlight, it was another transportation project update. Coleman Street Collector project will be happening this spring. That'll be from Pearl to McKenzie on North Coleman. Embedded in that project, it was a desire to have a painted crossing on Pearl Street that really connects South Coleman to North Coleman with a safe pedestrian crossing. We just received word from Lane County, who manages that street, that they have approved that crossing. So that will be embedded in our project. So much more to come on that project in the spring. That's it. And feel free to check the website for any and all updates on prior council packets. And we'll see you next month for another update.